Rise and shine, everybody. We got a long walk ahead of us. Guess we won't be heading back there anytime soon. Alright, so some kind of weird recess there and a door. Here's our first proper encounter. Those little ones on the barrels are completely harmless, but for peace of mind's sake, it's good to get rid of them. Well, looks like we're not heading that way. Looks like there should be a staircase there. There we are. Can't pass through there. Alright, so it looks like we're gonna have to figure out a way to open that door up. That switch looks pretty good. So a little information about how combat works in this game. As you probably already noticed, Ico doesn't actually have a health bar. And in fact, even though we got hit there, there's no real visible damage. You can't actually die in combat. the way that you lose combat is entirely focused on our friend here. The objective of the shadow creatures is to drag our friend into the portals from which they came. If they get her all the way in, we've lost, and that's when we die. Now if they do manage to drag her in, we have a pretty fair amount of seconds from which to pull her out. And it's also a bit of a binary thing. If you haven't lost, it's still possible to pull her out. There's no point where you're forced to wait for a few seconds for your own death. Now, one of the sort of downsides to this is that any enemy that pulls her in will disappear from the fight for a few seconds, and you have to kill every enemy in order for it to be safe to move on. And once the portals disappear, then you know that it's safe to move on. Now, there are certain things that she can and cannot do without our help. Any jump that Aiko cannot make himself, she can't make and will require help. This will be a frequent thing that we are faced with, how to transport her from one side of the room to the other. We were just there. Now here the game plays a bit of a trick on you. The last 3 encounters that we've been have all been very aggressive based. You've been encouraged to rush in. But here, if you rush ahead and leave our friend alone, you'll be caught off guard because now we're meeting the main kind of enemy we'll be dealing with, the flying ones. Now this one right here in particular, is very large and can take far more hits than any other. Flying enemies also have the advantage of being able to get out of our range very easily. If you're not sure whether an encounter's over or not, again, just check the portals. If they're still there, there's still someone around you need to kill. One of the really nice things about the way this game is laid out is that you really do feel like you're in one very large building. You can see where you have been and where you will be going. Sometimes it can be a bit finicky guiding her over. But usually the game is pretty good about it. Well, we've come all this way. There honestly isn't much point to that besides feeling good about it. Alright, so let's take a look around. We got another set of magic doors down there and a rather large chasm. Door on the other side, a chandelier. The bridge through the center has a gap in it, and it's honestly easier to just run around the outside than to try and get our friend to jump it. Let's see, out here we have a raised drawbridge. Some kind of rope that we can't really interact with. Another drawbridge, and a dead end. That's the door where the magic doors lead through. So I guess I'll be heading down there. Now it looks like that single support is the only thing holding up that side of the bridge. So maybe if we can give it one good shock. Well, it worked last time. Well, it was almost enough. Maybe one more good shock will do it. But for now, I think we've earned a break. Sleep tight, everybody.